Sarah from 17 once again. This is an invasion session on Dark Souls, which I'm probably going to call Returning to Anor Londo, because my original stalking grounds when I was first trying to PvP and invade were in this beautiful sunny city. So coming back here is kind of interesting. I'm using a buff anti-ganker build, who you've seen in quite a few videos. The difference here is I've gone through the game again to get an extra stack of Wrath of God, because the intentions of this character is to fight 2v1s, 3v1 situations. And if anybody's got something against the use of Wrath, you probably won't enjoy these videos too much, and I understand it. I'm not the biggest fan of it either, but this is the only character that I have that has it, and it is a fantastic tool for dealing with people. It's also extremely good at getting through shields if you're dead angle, so you can use it like a shuttle. And what this is going to be is this is me going... this is one session I had the other night in Anor Londo. All of these are pretty much sequential, and a couple of them have some interesting stories behind them. There's fails, there's ganks, there's a little bit of everything for everyone. And this guy right here is proving that my setup parries are not as good as they should be, because the timing on them just gets me killed so much. Look at that nonsense. And it could be lag, it could be a variety of things, but interesting little Sunbro roleplay there. And you'll notice I invade him again in Dark Anor Londo, which is my least favourite place to fight in Dark Souls. I hate it. I think Dark Londo is the worst, I really do. You'll notice I just took the Dust Crown off. The reason I did that is because I know this guy has Wrath of God, and I don't want to get trapped in it again because I mistimed my rolls. Because the one thing that everybody says about Wrath of God is, as cheap as it is, and as much as people would like it to be different, it is punishable. You can roll through it, there's a lot of different strategies you can use. And they are true, but it still feels kind of annoying when you die to it, because it's just one of those things where it doesn't take any skill really. It's an area of effect move. It's a frustrating ability, and I'm using it quite a lot right now because this guy not only did he do it to me when I invaded him, but he's healing and stuff, so I'm trying to make quick work of him. And he's doing okay at rolling through the spells, but it's so easy to get trapped in it, and I've got 6 of them now. I only used to have 3, but this guy's now got 6. And I think I'm going to swap the extra stack out for 21 Forces, because I think having both Wrath and Force mixes it up to such an extent that people don't quite know what's coming. But this guy is possibly a high level, just coming through Anor Londo in human form. He might have been trying to get some buddies together. He might be looking for PvP. It's not too obvious what kind of player this guy is. He is the type of person though that trades hit for hit, kind of like a Rocky movie. So you'll notice you hit your shield, he hits your shield, and I always wonder in these situations why the person doesn't parry me, because I went for it then, and because of lag it didn't work, and timing and various other things, but that guy knew I was going to slash immediately after he'd attacked, or after I'd finished blocking, so if he'd have thrown a parry out, he could have probably got me. Also, this is the first time I've ever had the Praise the Sun emote, so I'm practicing my praising the sun, so just bear with that. But this is a good one. I exchanged messages with this guy because he sent me a lovely little piece of rage mail. Apparently he was trying to play chameleon. He was trying to hide and be funny. It took me about 10 minutes to find this guy out on this balcony. I checked everywhere but the balcony. And when I noticed that he was being spammy, I went for the poise parry. Didn't work. He's got a big shield. He's just blatantly spamming R1. And I move in here so that we can actually fight with some room. And he shows no interest in following me. So, you know, I'm not here to fight people like this. This is not what I'm invading for. I'm invading to have some fun. I'm invading to cosplay a Dark Wraith and get into some interesting engagements, and this to me is not interesting. So I'm going to pull Wog out and I'm going to just furiously pummel him with it. And he sent me, what did he say now? He said something along the lines of, grow a pair of balls, you don't deserve the souls, something like that. And it's understandable, you know, Wrath of God makes people angry, but if you're going to hide behind a shield, I'm going to use Wrath. And if we're fighting in a phone booth, which is what we are right now, because I'm not the type of person that generally likes to bleed people, I'll just do that instead. But these are the people that I'm looking forward to fighting. These are the people I'm looking for. This is a pair of corpers, I assume. And I'm introducing this guy to the stun lock that you can do with the Wrath of God. It is extremely, extremely potent. I don't understand why From made it the way it was. I personally think God's Wrath is perfect in Demon Souls. It takes a while to do, but if you land it, it's great. In this game, they've kind of turned it into this button that shouldn't work as well as it does. But I think you've got to get to that point where you can't complain about Wrath anymore. And when we do it, when we do mention it, it's more out of reflex than anything, because it is annoying. But I ran into a lot of different players on this particular session, which is always great. And this is a walk party right here. This is Wrath of the fun times, because they're everywhere, and I don't know what they're doing at all. And then that guy hits me with that, and that to me is the perfect invasion. It made no sense, it was stupid, and it was quite funny. But we're back in Dark Anor Londo. I always expect gankers when I come here, because I had quite a lot of them when I was first trying to PvP. The guy shrugs, so I assume I've caught him in a bad time. And he comes at me with a washing pole. He doesn't look like he's got a lot of poise. He's got the tower shield, and he's using a dark hand, which is really interesting because that weapon is funny, but in the main hand, it's a very difficult fight. And then the guy starts running away. So it's times like this when, if there was a boss fog, I would have probably black crystalled out, because he was in trouble before that fight even started. But, you know, when you're using cracked eye orbs, when I'm in somebody's world, I at least try and get a fight, unless they choose otherwise. But this is a cool one. This is someone who's new to PvP. I invade him quite a lot in this session. I invade him even more after this session. And what this is somebody whose knowledge of the game doesn't stretch that far into the player versus player elements. And I assume this is probably maybe his first build. It's kind of spread thin. That was a good move on his part right there, catching me with the Soul Spear. And I have a lot of fights with this guy, and after I beat him a couple of times, I decide to try and teach him some stuff, because I don't know, I'm not trying to be pretentious or anything. It's just there are certain things that I think if you learn them during fighting, they'll make you a better player. So I decide to show him when his weaknesses are exposed. I want to see if he learns. It was more of a social experiment than anything else, and for a lot of the matches, he doesn't really learn, and I'm not entirely sure why. Maybe it doesn't come as natural to him as it does to others, but I like to think at the end of the session, he was a better player for the encounters that we had. This guy is very similar, actually. He's got the same armour, it's just the difference being he has the blood shield and he has the Gravelord sword. And when people run away from me, because I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do, I generally just chip away at them. Unfortunately for this guy, he's relying on the bleed from the life hunt, which is a viable strategy, but if somebody knows how to parry and you just keep pressing the R1, you're going to get caught, and it hurts. So this is an attempted setup parry on the Gravelord sword. That only works for me when the lag is in my favour. If there's a little bit too much, it misses like it did just then. But a cool habit to get into is carrying every kind of moss. Every kind of moss is going to help you when you get poisoned. But this is the guy. This is, I don't know if this is our second fight, but we'll see if he learns, because remember last time I parried him from spamming R1. I also parried him just from a standard attack. Right there he does a jump attack, which I punish with the backstab. I did this last time to him, and he's not got the fastest roll, so it's probably difficult for him to get out of the way of it. I go for the parry for the attack after the kick, but he doesn't attack. And he's just backing up to use his spells again, which is smart, but you need to be really careful because you're going to get roll backstabbed. He does another one there. This one is arguably more dangerous because lag. Sometimes it just works. He needs to be real careful with those slow rolls when he's got his back anywhere near me. So right now, I'm wanting him to attack to see if he learnt from the last engagement that we had. So I hit him to lure him into... and he's still spamming. And I did miss the setup parry because I suck, but he's still pressing the R1, and that's the second time he's been punished by it. So I'm hoping... Let's hear again. I'm hoping that, you know, he's said to himself, that doesn't work. We need to stop doing that. We need to, you know... We need to figure something out. So, coming into this one, I start to do some different things. I'm trying to do some high-speed running around craziness. I scare him there a little bit with the parry. I'm doing the back steps, I'm doing the running attacks. Right there, knew it was coming. That was instinct. I didn't mean to swap to the rapier to riposte him, because I don't want to kill him. I want to get into a situation where he sees some new things like this here. This is me messing about with wrath cancels, or spell cancels as I believe it's called. And this guy's got some wicked phantom range. Right there should have been a parry, but I wasn't close enough. And a lot of the times when I try to do the spell cancels, I fuck them up. It's really funny actually. There's a match coming up later on where I just look like an idiot wrath spammer. Watch this. Oh, that one didn't miss. And I stand behind him intentionally there to tell him, you know, your back is exposed. And watch, look at him again. He's still spamming the R1, and don't get me wrong, it's working because of lag and dead angles and various other things that we can't control. But he could have been parried then, and I don't understand him. And right here I go for the setup, and I fuck it up, and he wins. And it's a good fight, it's a good victory. I hope it bolsters his confidence a little bit. Oh, this is some gankers or corpers. Oh, this is the guy who was on the balcony who sent me the rage message. So he's gone from wanting to play hide and seek to getting a full army of phantoms. And he complained about Wrath of God before. He's going to hate me even more this time, because I use all my wrath just then, getting rid of dudes, and then the Silver Knight kills him. Yeah, very, very interesting, but that's the whole point of this session, that there, folks, to run into 3v1s and to just see how it all goes down, because Anor Londo hasn't changed since when I was last here. Oh, this is an interesting one. You'll notice I've got a washing pole on, and oh goodness me, I did it again. I did not mean to switch to the rapier. I put the washing pole on because I don't have the stats to use it unbuffed. I literally have the bare minimum requirements for it. That was a great dead angle there. He needs to realise that people can't be hit when they're on the ground. I think he ran out of stamina just then. But you'll notice this sword's not going to do much damage at all, because it's a buff weapon essentially. And I've put it on for the purpose of hopefully having an interesting engagement with this guy, because I want him to... Look, he's doing this now because he's had success, but watch. Could have backstabbed him. And I'm trying to show him that he's leaving his back open when he does that move. And right there was a well-placed attack, but again, I fuck up the setup parry. He gets success with the spam, so I think it's giving him hope to do it more. So I think... Uh-oh. that was a good victory. That was a well-earned victory. And like I said, we fight a lot, me and this guy. So I sent him a message saying, are you learning anything yet? It was a light-hearted message, and he sent me one back saying, yeah, thanks for the lesson type deal. And from that point onwards, I started throwing in different things just to introduce him to stuff like that right there. The dead angle wrath attack, if you do not know what that means, it's going to get you every time. And he keeps doing that move. And I'm hoping, but it's one of those things where he got a couple of victories, so I come back in and I fight a proper fight with him, and I get the advantage on him again. So this is interesting. This guy ran away from the main room because he had sentinels, and then swapped his clothing. So I wait for him to put his clothing back on before we fight, and he spends the entire fight running away from me. I don't understand it. He's got a Black Knight halberd, one of the most powerful weapons on the game, and he runs. He just runs. Like, if he didn't want to fight, He could have gone for the boss fog. I would have let him go, because I let him back away from the sentinels because I thought he was going to kill him. That's another failed cancel there, boys. That's how great I am with that move. Don't know if it's my analogs, don't know if it's me just being a bad gamer. Not too sure. So here he goes, two-handing the Black Knight Halberd. This is me messing around trying to do some backstep running attacks to catch him off guard. It's a little bit laggy, as you can see. It's not the optimum connection. I start going forward, luring some attacks to see how he responds. I kind of knew the roll attack was coming, but this is my... I'm trying to find my range. I'm trying to see what this guy's about, see how he plays. He throws a parry because I threw a parry. A lot of people do that, you'll notice. If you start throwing parries, people start trying to throw parries too. Cool thing about that is you can lure them into an easy backstab, because parries should be punished. If they do not land, you should punish them. Throw a wog, but I'm far too out of range. I mean, look at him, he's not engaging at all. He's backing up. Completely backing up, and I don't understand why. If you're going to counter-punch, there are better ways of doing it than just running. And I think he's going for a backstab there, so I move for the counter. Should have set up parried him then. I didn't, because I didn't expect him to do the second hit. You'll notice he throws out one attack and he continues to back away. And this is a fight I would usually lose against somebody who plays it better than this, because I'm not very good at chasing people. I don't mind chasing people when they're chasing me, if you're both engaging, because they're the fights that I look forward to. But when someone's doing this, it's weird. And look, he's running out of places to run. We're literally getting to the stairs of the elevator and there's a fog door. And I'm thinking to myself, this guy's ran all the way over here. If I let him turn around, he's going to run all the way back. It makes no sense. So I try to scare him with bleed damage, and he finally commits to some attacks, but he's committing to too many. And that's the problem. And now that we've got the upper hand, I'm probably not going to let him recover. Oh, fucking... Really? Like, this is not a fun fight, guys. This is not somebody that I can teach much to, because he's not fighting, he's running. The other guy is a perfect example of a clean slate who just doesn't have the expertise or the experience yet. This guy is... Why is he in human form? Why is he in human form? I don't get it. It makes no sense. You lose nothing from dying in this game, guys. You lose nothing. You gain everything from trying to fight. Like this place... I hate this place. Absolutely hate it, because I'm a lock-on fighter. I remove the lock to get fancy. I don't do it for fun. Well, actually, I do it for fun sometimes. But I hate not being able to lock on, because it makes backstabs and bullshit so much easier to happen. This is a standard halberd player. He's using the boulder shield. He's got his Mask of the Child to give him some stamina regen. The halberd's lightning, though, so it tells you everything you need to know about this guy. Lightning used to be much better than it is, but even then, lightning will never be better than scaling, because scaling is the best way to build character. Obviously, if you're a vitality gouge, or you're an endurance gouge, or you're some, ridiculous tailored build, then you don't need the stats. You use elemental, and that's how that works. But I don't know. That's a weird one, that. And this is our friend, I think. Oh no, this is a buff guy. This guy uses a rapier and a small shield. He buffs it, and he's obviously going for the backstabs because that's the best thing his weapon can do. Do you notice? Didn't even do the running attack. He was running immediately to try and backstab me. And I don't have time for this, so I'm literally going to use Wog to space him, and if he doesn't roll through them, he's going to die. And people hate Wrath of God when you use it like this, but how effective is that against a buff user? And when I've got Wrath, I'm going to use it in those situations, because there's nothing worse than having to run away for a minute until it lasts. Until it runs out, sorry. The only thing worse than that is dying to it. This guy's summoning a Phantom. I'm probably not going to let him. He's just a co-opper trying to get through the level. But I am a Dark Wraith, and a lot of people think when you're a Dark Wraith, you've got to come into the world and kill the person and be really mean. This guy disconnects, though. I don't mind, like I say, doing a little praising the sun, doing a little cosplay, just trying to enjoy the the breadth of invasions. This is somebody else. This guy's got a sunlight blade on as Zweihander, and he's got the channeler leggings too, and an eagle shield, and he wants to be real careful with those running attacks. Channeler top as well. This guy's a fashionista. So he knows now, if he wings a move like that, I'm going to punish him. Oh, my timings, man. Sometimes, I just don't get this game. Like, as soon as you block it, you do the parry, sometimes it works. Then you try it another time, it doesn't work, so you leave it a couple milliseconds later to try and land it, and it just doesn't. Oh, by the way, that was, the guy I just beat with the buff sent me a message saying how Wrath of God is cheap and bitchy, and how I'm a bad player, and various things like that. Coming from a guy with a rapier, with a buff on it, going for backstabs. Yes, the irony of Dark Souls. So this is a guy who's looking to PvP. He plays well, considering I don't think he's very experienced. The reason I say this is certain things that happen in our rematch. You'll notice he doesn't trust people, so he shuts the door, which I don't understand. He thinks I'm going to run away when I'm not going to run away. And he uses this strength weapon quite well. He doesn't get too spammy, he does the roll attacks, he tries to dead angle with the running attacks. This is a promising player in my eyes. And I make a lot of mistakes in this fight. One mistake is I tried to do some wrath cancels and I just looked like a spammy idiot. So I sent him a message after this apologising for that, because that's not my intention at all. That was a good punish on the running attack. I wanted to do the parry. That right there, in that moment, because he evaded the dead angle wog, it made me think that this guy, you know, is quite experienced, quite a good player. Pulls out his own Wrath of God, which I suppose is obligatory, and I get caught in the range because I didn't expect it to chase me down with it. But those two Wraths that I did, the first one was intentional, the second one was meant to be a cancel, and it just looks stupid. So, sent him a message apologising. He didn't send me anything back, but we will meet again, so. This is Dark Anor Londo, for anybody uninitiated. This is a host and a phantom waiting for invaders to gank. This is not co-op, people. This is people farming souls off of players like myself. They're not looking for a fair fight, they're looking for an easy victory. So I'm going to give them a wog sandwich. And wog sandwiches are delicious, but they're very dangerous. And this phantom does not like wog sandwiches, because wog sandwiches are painful. And now it's just me and the host, and I thought I had my shield on, because input fail happens all the time. Don't know if it's the game, don't know if it's the shit Xbox D-pad, not entirely sure. Should have parried that. This is close. And you'll be able to tell if I want to win because I'll heal, and we'll soon find out. If I get some space, which I'm doing, yeah, I'll heal because he heals, I heal. That's how it works. Fuck this guy. Also, if you've got a thing against people using Divine Blessings, you're on the wrong channel. And this guy's using a Hornet. So we'll soon find out how this fight goes. Go for the kick. Doesn't do anything to him. It's the only problem with the kick on the wake up. Depending on what your connection is to the player, depends on whether or not it's going to be successful. I need to be careful here because... Ooh, excuse me, that came out of nowhere. This guy can poke me and it does a lot of damage. He's also looking a little bit too eager for the backstabs, and when you chase people, you are so vulnerable to backstabs, it's not even funny. And oh, here he goes again. Sir McChugski. Which is fine. If he wants to heal, he can heal. At the end of the day, this person is not standing around this place to fight people fairly. He stood here to win. He stood here to get easy souls. So he's going to do everything he can, and I'm going to backstab him. And then I'm going to praise the sun when I'm not stood on a message. Because that emote is so stupid. What does it even mean? So strange. Look at it. But this is, I don't know why I said then. I know exactly what this is, and I know exactly what I want to say. It's almost like an inflection at this moment in time. This is the guy we've been practicing with. Or, shall we say, we've been going easy on to try and teach some PvP lessons. So, There he goes again with a heavy attack, going for the dead angle. I stand behind him. Oh no, I went for the backstab. You notice how I've took the rapier off my right hand? That's just in case I parry him, because I don't want to do massive damage. But he two-hand, did you see that there? I think he tried to change his weapons, but it didn't go through on the input. So he ended up two-handing the catalyst. That is a poised backstab. I was testing his backstab defense here, because you'll notice that I do a pivot, I do a poise, and I believe I do a roll backstab. That one was attempted, didn't work. I go for another one. Because he's on a funny angle, we're just dancing here. But luckily enough, because I've got my fist out, I'm not doing a lot of damage. And my one fear here was that he thought I was mocking him with the punch. And I wasn't. I just don't want to kill him. I want to show him some things, essentially. And you'll notice he's... I kicked him then. I went for the knee. Does he spam? Does he spam? He did. And I fucked the setup parry again. Timing is just weird against this guy. In the first two fights I had with him, the setup parries worked perfectly. Again, it almost makes me sad watching him do it repeatedly when he knows that I've parried him in the past. And I don't understand it. Only thing I can think of is that he thinks that, you know, I'm going to cock up again because I seem to be cocking up a lot against this guy. Which definitely works in his favour, but if he comes up against someone who's better than me, and that's going to happen numerous times, they're going to punish him. And the only thing I can think of is he's used to people with no poise, because this build doesn't have the greatest amount of poise. But I know how to toggle, and right then showed him that his back is extremely vulnerable in those encounters. Thought he was going for the backstab then, so I went for the kick. Do the backstep to get out of it, do a quick attack. Punish him with the backstab because he left himself open. Introduce him to my pivot slash that I love doing with the Uchi. Sometimes it's effective, sometimes it's not. Pulls out his spells again. Interesting. Spells are good, but he knows I've punished him before with them. The only time I got hit by that spell is when I went to roll from a run and I ended up jumping like a moron into it. Oh no, sorry, it weren't a jump, it was I was doing the rapier running attack. So I thought he was going for a backstab then, and I was going to do the setup, not the setup parry. Oh, fucked up again. Look at, he just keeps doing it. Just keeps doing it. And I'm facilitating this, guys, because I'm fucking up my parry timings. So, if anything, I'm doing this guy a disservice at this moment in time. That's as close as a backstab attempt as you can get. Didn't punish him for some reason. Pull out the fist. There we go, counter backstab. Introduce him to that. And I'm curious. I'm curious to what your guys think about this. What this guy must have been thinking at this moment in time. Why would he continue to spam it? It has to be because he's got lucky with it. And I say lucky, it's not necessarily lucky. It's because my timing was bad. It was better then apparently. But he's not learning from it. He's got no offhand weapon. It's like I was tempted to tell him to drop some weight so he could roll faster. I was also tempted to tell him that the weapon he's using only really benefits you when you're a very high level, and he's not a very high level. He's coming to PvP at the arranged levels. So the sword is good, but it's not as good as some other swords he could use. Like that then, how the fuck was that not a parry, man? I'm just roll, poise, backstab or whatever. Just interesting. But I sent him a message after these fights, because I believe this is the last one of this video, basically saying, if you're really interested in getting better at PvP, YouTube backstabs, pivot stabs, and counter stabs to learn how to use the lag and how to understand what's happening. And hopefully, you know, give him a couple weeks, he might be a really, really good player. He might not, he might give it up as a bad job, he might just turn to ganking, we don't know, but I like to think that because I fought him so much, he learnt something at the end of that. If you don't feel the same, feel free to share. But thank you for watching, and you take care now.